let's talk a little bit about your RV fund, Great Escapes, because this has been kind of the surprise. Like, I wasn't surprised that the lease back in the cannabis industry would do well. Makes tons of sense.
Yeah.
I'm also not surprised that RV parks are doing well. But the surprise of what COVID did to the RV community and to people buying RVs and living off the grid a little bit more is just incredible. And so the returns, the valuations have gone through the roof. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on why RV parks, why did you get involved, and what does that look like?
Yeah, RV parks are, again, they're storage 25 years ago, right? There's just such amazing upside. And, there's a ton of unsophistication in the space. And so you're finding, like in storage right now, if you have money, you can buy a property and there's a million people to manage it for you. That does not exist here. And it is way more expensive to build an RV park than it would be, to build a self-storage facility for the most part. It's also, there's a lack of sophistication. A lot of owners don't even have websites. They certainly don't do anything with dynamic pricing. They don't put money into the park because they're making enough. And there's a lot of mom and pops who own the parks and just, they do not want to do it anymore. They just don't. And so we're able to step in there, take over the park. We buy them below replacement costs. Sometimes could we pay more than we should? Probably, but it doesn't matter to us because we usually go in and we will, double, triple, quadruple the size of the park. We add in water parks. We add in, golf cart rentals and all kinds of activities. And generally speaking, we usually raise revenue in the first year on average by over 70%.
That's incredible. And having a lot of expertise in this space myself, I just love this industry. I think it's going to continue to boom. It was going to boom without COVID. Now COVID was like, steroids and fuel being put on the flame. And it's cool seeing people just wanting this as part of their regular life. It's not just hey, let me do this one time so I can act like, I got a chance to do it. People are regularly doing this.
Yeah, no, it's so two things. I would totally agree with you. So we were great before COVID. There's no question. Everything was great before. And we were in this before COVID. COVID put some wind behind our sail. But also, it exposed a lot of people to this type of travel, which they're enjoying and they're continuing it. The second thing, which has been enormous, is there's technology. Once again, there is a website called Outdoorsy, which is just like Airbnb for RVs. And so people who usually had these RVs that were sending them out, going a couple times a year, are now leasing them out. I mean, basically paying for the RV in almost the first year, certainly in the second year. And the same RV that was going out a couple times a summer is now going out 15, 20 times a summer. So when the demand was already way higher than the supply, now if you're not booking these places far in advance for a weekend, you're going to be in trouble finding a location.
That's right. And a lot of people are now just buying the RVs to rent them whenever they're not using them to cover the cost of what it is. It's an incredible place. And then with all the shortages going on, you've got this used market that's incredible, right?
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
We're destroying projections all over the place. We actually are doing the parks that we're doing with the model we're doing now, we're buying them and renovating them. We have, after we've owned them for 2 full seasons, we're refinancing, sending back all of the equity. And then after you get back the equity, you're still making 15 to 20% on your initial investment. There's no reason to sell. If we sell, people will hurt us. So we'll sell eventually for a ridiculous amount of money, but the returns are insanely good. And this is by far the heaviest concentration of investment dollars that I have in my portfolio.
Yeah. And this is just one of those things where, I talk a lot with my network, my community about recession-proof assets. You don't want to be in as much, you want some cash, but you don't want to be in all cash. You want to be in assets, and you specifically want to be in assets where there is an underlying scarcity to it. It's hard to build them, hard to get the zoning. but then you also want it to be recession proof. And we have found now that in the greatest economic displacement that many of us have seen, that this has been a very strong industry and just getting stronger.